The Saturday Night Ride with DJ Epps. It's time to turn up your smart device and crank it loud. Hey yo, Epps, let these motherfuckers know.
What up, everybody? It's the world famous DJ Epps right here on SiriusXM Channel 43, the #1 radio station, LL Cool J Rock the Bells Radio. It's the Saturday Night Ride. Yes, I want you to share, leave a comment, you know what I mean? All of that right here on my YouTube as well. Now, riding shotgun, you know what it is. Like I promised you, my guy from legendary Digital Underground, Money B, is in the building. Money, what up, boy?
What's poppin'? Thanks for having me.
You already know, family. Thank you for coming over. You're in the Yams. You're in Miami. How's it feel to be out here?
It's good. It's good. Good weather. Good vibes. I love it. Wait, good pastries. awesome espressos. Got me bouncing off the walls.
All my
I'm ready to
Latinos,
go.
I gave him a little Vicky's colada, you know what I mean? And he's just on 20 right now.
Yeah, I'm in that thing. And I told him I actually had a coffee right before that.
Oh, so you on 50.
Hey, man, I'm not trying to come down.
That's what it is, man. What's up with the 49ers over here? What, you know what I mean? Like,
Listen,
my Miami has are like looking at you like he's disrespectful right now.
Well, I mean, I understand that we are Miami's worst nightmare. But it's okay. You guys will live.
My son loves the 49ers, so, you know.
Yeah, I root for Tua.
He probably would have took that hat if he would have saw you earlier.
You know, we tried to get Tyreek, too.
Yeah.
If we'd have did that, I would have been in here flexing.
That's what it is, man. So how's your health? How's the family, man?
I'm well, man. You know, I'm just enjoying life. You know, me and my wife raising our son. And me just kind of doing the things that I love to do.
Right. Do what you like.
Do what you like. That's how you got to live.
You know, when I first heard Digital Underground, that's probably one of the first records I ever heard from you guys. And Do What You Like, that bounce, that the piano, the verses, Shock G. You know what I mean? That song was one of my favorites of all times. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then, you know, of course, the followings of the other records that we'll talk about, you know, it just made me fall in love with the brand and the group Digital Underground. Talk to me how Digital Underground came all about between you, Shock, and the whole crew, even with Pac.
Right. So Digital Underground was the brainchild of Shock G, right? Mm-hmm. That was his baby. And the group actually put the first single from Digital Underground was Underwater Rhymes, which came out in 1988 on TNT Records, distributed through Macola. And at the time, Digital Underground was Shock G, Chopmaster J, Kenny K, who were the core members. Me and DJ Fuse weren't in the group yet.
Right.
We came into Digital Underground that year, but because me and Fuse were a group called Raw Fusion, and we had our own thing. We were doing like the whole talent show circuit in the Bay Area, Oakland and whatnot. And Shock and Digital Underground needed a DJ, but Fuse was like one of the hottest DJs at the time. So through acquaintances, they had set up a meeting to try to get Fuse to be their DJ.
Right.
But at the time, he was renting a room out of my mom's apartment, so we were living together. Right. So imagine a meeting where the dudes are coming in the house trying to take your DJ, and you're sitting there like, is this for real? But eventually, Fuse, that's my brother. He was like, we're a team, right? You rock with me, you gotta rock with him,
right? Like
that, and that's how it started. And obviously, as we begin to work with each other and learn each other, that's how we became the family that we became. But Do What You Like was the first record that I appeared on with Digital Underground.
Right. Talk about DJs, man. A lot of artists these days don't realize how important a DJ is to an artist's show. You know what I mean? And I think we play a very, very big role ever since the Eric B. and Rakim days and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, how Fuse was obviously too important for you that you didn't want to let nobody come to your crib and grab them up.
Nah, I wasn't trying to share that. Was, the DJ, especially from the era that we come from, that was your band.
Right.
And the DJ was to be highlighted along with your rhymes. Like usually if you had a DJ, your DJ had to have some sort of DJ solo.
Right.
Like there was going to be a point in your show where it's like, check out my DJ.
Right.
He's that guy too. So I don't know where we, evolved into people playing dats during their show and whatnot. But where I come from, the DJ was always as important. And to this day, still is, because the DJ runs the show, right? And so the relationship as an MC, you have to have with your DJ. You guys have to be in sync. Because when you're doing a show, if you do a live show,
right,
and that's what we do, everything doesn't always fall perfectly. So you kind of got to know how to play off each other and sort of have, chemistry and cues to, like, if I see something happening, I know my DJ probably sees it as well, and we know what we're gonna do in that moment. Like, I can look at him; he knows to cut the song, or I can go, and he knows to bring that other thing in. And you have discussions before you go out, like any type of team. This is our game plan. This is what we're gonna do. But if something goes wrong, we're gonna audible to this and that. So
fuck around if that dat fucks up on you.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Or if your CD skip, it's done deal. Now, trust me, with turntables,
it has happened.
Those skip as well, but you got to know how to play it off.
Right.
So even though I always say the classic way not to treat your DJ, unfortunately, is what Big did.
With Big Cap, right?
With Big Cap. That was the no-no, right? Because when you're performing, a record skips or something happens, the crowd doesn't know.
Right.
They only know if you highlight it. If you play it off, it's just the second that happens.
Right.
And you just move on, and then they quickly forget about it if you keep jamming.
Right.
But when you turn around, you're like, yo, what you doing? And all of that. I got a funny story. Tupac did that. Yeah. Right? So his DJ and original first producer was Big D, right? Rest in peace. He's not with us anymore. But he was, I grew up with Big D, so I actually hooked him up. Right. But Big D was like 6'7", but he's just like a gentle giant. He was a big old dude, 300 plus pounds, but he wouldn't harm a fly, right? Gotcha. So Tupac had his very first show, his first solo show in LA at the Palladium. It was a big deal. And he was, I think he was opening up for like Queen Latifah and Naughty by Nature, something like that. Right. And it's, that's his family as well. So he was all excited, and he had me and Shock. We flew down to LA from the Bay just to be there for his first show. Right. And so I'm thinking I'm just gonna go check him out. So I'm in the thing, I'm drinking like I'm like 4 Long Islands deep, right? I'm just in there, I'm on. And so I'm like, yeah. So all of a sudden he's like, yo, I want to bring my guys Shock G and Money P up to the stage to rock with me. I'm drunk as a mug, right? So I'm like, all right, whatever. And at the time, Kiss You Back was like the hot joint. Right. So we did that, and he's like, yo, Big D, put on the beat so we could freestyle. Right. He put the beat on, and right when my verse start, or when I start to rhyme, the record start jumping, right? And so I keep trying to start over, right? And I'm so drunk, I think it's me. But I don't even know the record. I'm just like, God damn, I can't get it together. Right? So, and he keeps starting it, and I see him, he started to sweat and shit. Finally, Tupac just went off on him. Motherfucker, you do that again. God damn it. Blah, blah, blah.
Blame it on the DJ.
Oh, man, I just felt so bad for Big D, because he just, he's like, damn. And I was just like, and then at the other thing, I was like, ooh, glad it wasn't me. Right. But yeah, man, so you just got to have etiquette on stage anyway, but also, don't put your DJ out there because the DJ is
Right.
is that
Right.
guy.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. That's where I come from.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we know as time, certain things, the roles diminish and whatnot, but where I come from, the DJ is just as important.
Right. Pac.
Yeah.
Quickly tell me, how did he become part of Digital Underground, and what's one story that really stands out?
Well, that was one of them.
with Pac and Shock G.
So Tupac was actually in a group called Strictly Dope.
Right.
That he was signed to TNT Records and H. Gregory, who we were signed to. So he was, even though he wasn't in the group, they were around when we were recording Sex Packets and all of that stuff. But they were just their own group.
Right.
And for whatever reason, the group broke up, but Atron retained Tupac as an artist.
Right.
And he was trying to shop him a deal, and it was just taking longer than what Tupac was expecting to get the deal. So I guess he had threatened to Atron that he was just going to quit rapping and move to Atlanta and be part of the new African Panthers or whatever it is and just go into social activism, right?
Right.
But right around that time is when the Humpty Dance was just blowing up.
Right.
And then we were about to go on our first national tour. Now, people don't know is that we were popular in Europe before we were popular here in the States. So we had already been touring in Europe, but this was going to be our first national tour.
Right.
And it was with Big Daddy Kane was bringing us out.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the other groups that was on that tour was from Miami. What are they called? Young and the Restless.
Oh.
B stands
Yeah.
for
Poison
blah, blah,
Ivy.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. It's my guys, right?
Word.
From way back, 1990. They were on that tour. They did some
Dope.
which is another. I know I'm deviating, but
That's dope.
What's funny is when they came out, right, bro. When I heard them talk, it was like they were speaking another language. I was like, what the fuck are they saying? I had never heard nobody I'd never heard that before.
Word.
It was like they were speaking French. I was like, what is that? But, we ended up being really cool.
Right.
But anyway, we were about to go out on that tour. And my brother, who actually helped make up the Humpty Dance, was supposed to come out on tour with us. And Atron was like, yo, he asked Shock. He was like, yo, could y'all bring Tupac out with y'all? Because if I don't have him doing something, I'm going to lose him.
Wow.
Right? And then, and Pac was already, they was already down with us.
Right.
So he was like, yeah. But the big thing was, I think Shock was nervous to ask me because in order for him to come, my brother couldn't come. Right? So he's like, yo, we think about bringing Pac. And I was like, my brother don't rap.
Yeah. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be all right. And, Pac was our guy anyway, so
that's
it worked
what's up.
out. And that's how he came out. So I think that the misconception, not really, but I just don't like when people say, oh, Pac was your dancer and your roadie.
Got
right?
you. I heard that a lot.
That's not what he was. Tupac was out to do whatever was needed as a part of the group.
Right.
Meaning when he was, as the newest member, was assigned to help fuse breakdown equipment at the end of the night. But we all did that at some point. Right? And think about it. I always say, how's he the dancer? Whenever he was dancing, I was dancing. Because it was always two.
Yeah.
We were flanking Humpty.
Yeah.
Right? So how does he get that tag or label and I don't?
Right.
And I know I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I had more seniority and I had, freaks in the industry and I had parts.
Right.
Right? But Pac would get chances to rhyme in our show.
Yeah.
So people that just say, oh, he was just your roadie and dancer, that's not exactly what he was. We brought him out as a member of the group, but being the newest member, he did have a few more responsibilities, but I wouldn't just deduce it to just that.
Yeah.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear it right here. Pac was never a dancer like that, all right, man?
Yeah,
Oh, man, Money be in the building. Money, let me just go drop this I Get Around right quick, man. Let me play some joints right quick, and we're going to come back with Money B from Digital Underground right here on Rock the Bell Saturday Night Ride with your boy DJ Epps.
Yee.
Yes, son, it's your boy DJ Epps, Saturday Night Ride, right here on SiriusXM, Channel 43, LL Cool J, Rock the Bells Radio, man. We holding it down, riding shotgun. It's my guy from Digital Underground, Money B in the building. Money!
Hey, what up?
You already know, man. Listen, we miss Shock G, man. It's unfortunate that we lost a great artist, a great rapper, a legend. You know what I mean?
Genius.
How much did Shock G mean to you, man? You know, tell me some Shock G stories, man.
I mean, Shock, he was, I think you only get to meet people like, or should I say, people like Shock only come across. You know, those are.
He's like a Dr. Dre. You don't hardly get to see him.
Yeah, you don't get to see. Yeah. He's a unicorn, right? He was just such a. For one, he was a musical genius, right? And just the way that he looked at things, and he was a thinker, and he was super generous, and just he always wanted, he wanted everybody to be happy all the time,
right? And
he was also in the studio. He knew exactly what he wanted, right? And so he was what's the word, like. Just in the studio, he was, He
was a musical genius.
Yeah. And so I got to see that. I got to watch it, right? So, of course, all of that, I soaked all of that up.
Right.
So I would say that for me, just to be able to experience his work process and how he approached production and how, and just sort of managing and making sure that his vision was exactly his vision, right? And then to witness Tupac and Tupac's work ethic.
Right.
Never seen anything like it, right? So to be able to experience that is like, I know what it looks like. So when it's not there, I can see it right away. So you can't fool me. As, I always tell people, it's like, oh, I'm like, no, you're not. That's not it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sometimes it's fucked up that you got to tell people, but I'm like, no, bro, you're not doing everything you can do.
Right.
People think that they're doing everything that they can do, or even just being in the studio, as a rapper, right? And sometimes you'll be in there and the engineer will be like, no, I can't do that. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
They don't.
Right.
They don't understand that I know
right.
it. Right?
Yeah.
So you just can't fool me on this because I've seen it at its highest level.
Right.
Right? From production, work ethic, attention to detail. You know what I mean?
Right.
All the way around. So, kind of that's what I got from Shock and Pop. I know I'm grouping them, but
where were you and when we lost Shock G, where were you at?
I was at home.
Yeah.
And it was wild because one of our group members, in our collective, Two Fly Eli, he's in, I think he lives in Texas, and we rarely talk. Like you know what I mean? How sometimes you kind of don't talk to certain people. So when he called me and I answered the phone and he was already crying, I instantly thought that. Yeah. Right?
You instantly figured that part out the minute you heard his voice crying?
I kind of did. I knew it was something to do with Shock because that's our connection, right?
Yeah.
Digital. He wouldn't call me crying.
That's your brother, man.
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't.
My son messed up his ankle the other day. I literally felt it when I was somewhere else. That's really ironic how, brother, family.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah, you answer the phone and then, you know how it is when you hear it and then your heart sinks before you even get the news because you already know it's something that you're not gonna want to hear.
Wow.
Right? And that's what happened.
Mm. I know we're approaching 35 years of, the Humpty Dance, Sex Packet.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Do you remember the creation of Humpty? Do you remember?
I do.
How the whole dance just came about and just took off?
Yeah. So the dance was actually created out of the big earthquake that we had in 1989. Mm-hmm. We had a huge earthquake in the Bay. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Bay Bridge fell down. We lost. It was really catastrophic. So that was right around the time that we made the Humpty Dance. Right. We didn't have a dance at first. We were shooting a video. Yeah. Like the I want to say 2 nights before we shot the videos when the dance was made. Mm-hmm. And I think I mentioned that my brother and one of our other guys, Mac Moan, they were kind of working on it. It was like, man, like the earthquake, like the ground is shaking. You feel me? Because the earthquake was, that's all, because we had lost a lot in the Bay. So that was like, like the earthquake. Then Shock came over and they kind of fine-tuned it. Yeah. And when we had to shoot the video, we didn't think anybody was going to show up because the Bay Bridge was down. Mm-hmm. So the only way that you could get across to San Francisco is either you had to catch a ferry or you had to take the Golden Gate Bridge, which is way out the way, or the San Mateo Bridge. Mm-hmm. So, a person who's casual, like if the Bay Bridge is there, from Oakland to San Francisco is just 15 minutes across the bridge. Right. Now, if you want to get there, you got to take that hour and a half. So we were like, ain't nobody going to do all of that to come out the video. Yeah. And that thing was popping.
Man, if you was on the East Coast, that dance wouldn't even have came up, huh?
Yeah, for real. But that, everybody, showed up and it became what it became.
That's
awesome,
man.
I vividly remember that. The dance was made in my mom's apartment's living room, like the day before, the 2 days before we did the video. Right. But it all came about. It was birthed out of the big earthquake that we had. So we turned that tragedy into millions and platinums.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
I think that is probably one of the top 5, maybe even 3 dance move of all time. Yeah. In my book, at least. You know what I mean?
It's like there's no other dance like that. So when you're doing the Humpty Dance, you're not doing anything but the Humpty Dance.
Do you think that's a dance, it could be revamped with the Gen Zs, as they call them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, I don't know the guy's name. It's some dude. He's popular on TikTok and whatever. Mm-hmm. He went viral. He did the dance. Right. He kind of updated some steps and he turned. He did a viral video doing the Humpty Dance. But I don't know. Is the guy that he does it, but he duplicates himself. So it's always like 3 of him. And sometimes he dresses different. I thought it was 3 dudes, but it's him. And they edit it, and he's like,
knocking it out.
Yeah, it's dope.
I'm going to paint the picture for you.
Sure.
And the Rock the Bells family. LL, listen up.
What up, L?
2025, 35th anniversary of the Humpty Dance. Yep. I see Digital Underground, Money B, Young Hump. I see you guys with us on the Rock the Bell cruise and the whole cruise doing the Humpty Dance next year. I see it.
Every deck, right? Every deck.
I'm going to just put it out there. You know what I mean?
That would be Titanic. Not that way, but you know what I'm saying? But,
hey, chill.
Yeah, like, cool out. Maybe that wasn't the right word, but epic.
Hey, let's get to it, man. LL Cool J, Rock the Bells Radio, Riding Shotgun on the Saturday Night Riders. Money B from Digital Underground. It's your boy DJ Epps dropping this Humpty Dance. Let's go.
Let's get it.
What up, everybody? Hey, all my viewers, we appreciate you sticking with us, man. This is the Saturday Night Ride on LL Cool J, Rock the Bells Radio, with your boy DJ Epps out of Miami, SiriusXM Channel 43. I got my man Money B riding shotgun with me from Digital Underground. Money B, appreciate you for coming out, hanging out. You know what I mean? Giving us some stories and gems and all that. Is it true? And I hope I ain't disrespecting nobody, but
Sure.
is it true you had a sex production or a porn production back in the days with when you was interviewing rap artists? And I kind of saw something with Redman. I was like, am I seeing what am I seeing right now? Like,
Yes, to everything. Now,
sex as an industry.
It was Sex in the Studio, which was a DVD series that myself and Digital Underground member Cletus Mack, who's also my cousin,
right?
We started a production company and we created Sex in the Studio, which we thought of it as a video magazine, sort of the way that you had Playboy magazine where you read the articles, but then it had the pictures, right? So we would interview artists, and it was themed around, sex
right.
and sexuality.
Right.
And then in between the interviews, we had full sex scenes.
Really?
Right, yeah. And we had like some, we had Ludacris, Too Short, De La Soul,
So
Redman,
you was
Snoop Dogg.
interviewing these guys and there was actually sex happening?
In certain, like, either
There was
we
getting
had...
head. Let's keep it real. Was
no,
females getting head from? Was the artist getting head?
We always made sure that the artist consented to what was going on.
Oh, right.
So, either if I wasn't interviewing the artist, like say if I'm out, like we interview Coolio at a club, right? So obviously it's at a club,
Right.
But if it was in our environment, we'd either have one of the actual porn stars, like at the time India, Obsession, what's some of the, some of you guys might know these names, but they would interview them,
Right.
And then if some of they were open to it, then hey, we would let some people get a little active around you. If you were okay with that, then that was cool too. So this was from 2002 to 2006 or 2005. So we actually released 2 episodes of the series. We had Exhibit on there. I mean, look it up. It's out there. But the dope thing about that is each episode had a full soundtrack to it as well. So, we always kept that hip-hop to it.
It was kind of something like the Uncle Luke Freak Show.
Pretty much.
You guys are some freaks of the industries for real, man.
Yeah, and shout out to my guy, KB and D Money, because the whole way that I was even introduced to that, obviously we did the song Freaks of the Industry.
Right.
And we used to get booked to perform at the Players Ball, which is a event that D Money and K Bizzle would do during the AVN Awards every year. And it was actually here in Miami that we came to perform at. They had AVN here in Miami. We performed, and my guy KB was like, "Bro, you should think about getting into the adult industry." And this was like 1999, and I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Bro, I'm telling you, all the chicks already love Freaks of the Industry, and it's a natural thing." It took a few years later when my cousin Clee convinced me, like, let's really do it, that we actually jumped in. And as much as we could, we tried to keep it, as tasteful as porn could be, but I think we did a pretty good job. The production, look at you. I'm telling the truth.
Let me ask you something. And this is this is
Oh, wait. And I did not act in said film.
Oh, all right. I was about to say, because, you look mighty young still. Like, you know what I mean? And you know what they say. I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what they say.
Yeah,
Go and tell them. Go and tell them.
I know my wife happy.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to do that.
But, and this is a tough question. Right?
Sure.
I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember, but I'm going to need you to remember. Right? Was there any baby oil in your...
There was, baby.
Listen, let me tell you something, man.
You can't have a freak off without baby oil. What you talking about?
Let me ask, okay, I'm going to ask you, did you ever, in your wildest dream, think that we would hear or see what we're seeing right now with Sean in prison for some freak-offs when these things actually been happening since the Playboy Mansion days.
They're happening right now. It's like that's so is if it's just about those kind of parties, those happen all the time.
There's cruises right now getting ready to have nude cruise parties.
Yeah, and they're people go to Bahama or wherever to these resorts,
right?
That are sex resorts, right? And like I said, when I was in the adult industry, there are mansions and huge houses in like the Hollywood Hills that are only used for filming sex acts or throwing sex parties.
Right.
So I don't believe that that's the reason. I think that that's what we're focusing on, but it has to be something else. Like, I'm not condoning, obviously, the thing with Cassie is atrocious, but like I don't pay the sex party freak off part of it. That's kind of like a joke to me. Yeah. These people, they know what they're doing when they go there. Like,
so if
anybody in my age range would be lying if they said they didn't want to go to a puffy party back in the day. Now we didn't know what was going on.
Or Playboy Mansion, or
and we performed at the Playboy Mansion, and and we performed at the Bunny Ranch. All this stuff is the same, man.
All right, money. I ain't gonna ask for no more stories because you know what I mean. I believe you have some wild stories hidden.
Maybe.
Listen, man. To the freaks of the industries, Money B is in the building. Digital Underground with your boy DJ Epps. Matter of fact, let's jump into this Digital Underground classic right here on LL Cool J Rock the Bells Radio. It's a Saturday night ride. Freaks of the industry, right? Let's go. Yep. Saturday Night Ride, world famous DJ Epps holding it down right here on SiriusXM Channel 43, the number one radio station, LL Cool J, Rock the Bells Radio, on the number one DJ mix show in the world. You understand me? Yeah, I said that and
said it.
You know what I mean? Money B, Digital Underground is in the building riding shotgun with me. Money B, we're here, you know what I mean? It's now. And you just dropped a hot song. You know what I mean? Before we get up out of here, I've been playing it, and I got mad great views, and people are checking me like, yo, who sings that song? And I tell them who it is, and they're like, really? I'm like, yes. We've been breaking bells over here with this brand new joint.
Man.
Sit Next to Me. Talk to me about this new single that you got.
Sit Next to Me. It's produced by my guy, Excellence, out of Chicago. Right.
Who's on the record as well?
Who's on the record? He's the one singing the hook. You can't sit next to me.
Right.
And he produced it. And, I rock my verses, right? And I was like, dang, it needs something. And when I thought about Guap Dad 4000, he's from Oakland as well.
Right.
And he sort of reminds me of a younger me, because he's witty.
Yeah.
He's willing, he do his own thing, got his own style.
Yeah.
And he's slick, and he got, and he's dope.
Right.
Right. So, I reached out to him as we had done some things before. Right. I think even when Shock passed, right.
Right.
He came out and he performed Freaks of the Industry with me, and he did Shock's verse because he had used the song where he remade Freaks of the Industry. It was dope. And Shock liked it so much. He was like, bro, just, you ain't got to clear it, nothing with me.
Yeah.
Just rock with it. And then I think Donna Summer's people didn't clear it. I think it was him and Simba. You know Simba is from the Bay?
Yeah.
I believe, and I'm not sure, maybe they put it out anyway, but I know that's how the introduction was made, through that, right? But when Shock passed, he came out rock with me to help celebrate Shock, and we kind of kept that relationship. So when I had this song, I just reached out to him. I was like, bro, I hear you on this. Lay some of that slick shit on there.
Right.
And he right away he knocked it down.
Knocked it out.
Yep. And then even when we did the video, the chemistry was just there. Right. Like, I don't know if you checked out the video.
No, I haven't checked out the video.
Oh, the video's dope. I think I sent it the link in that
Let me go check that out. I definitely gonna check that out.
The video
Everybody
is
check
dope.
it out too. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to see the video, and it's almost like a 2024 version or extension of a sort of like a Freaks of the Industry groove, even though we're not talking about sex on the song,
Right.
but just like that, that groove. You know what I mean? It got that bounce to it, and you could just lay back with a laid back flow.
Right.
The flow kind of reminds me of that.
Right.
And you know, the single's out, is streaming everywhere.
Yeah.
But also the single is going to be featured on a new project that I have. It's called Analog Wishes, Digital Dreams. And what's unique about it is it's going to be it's content exclusively on a Tapioca fan card.
Right.
Now, what that is it's a card, right, that uses the NFC, near field communication technologies. Like when you tap to pay, use your credit card.
Right.
We call it tap to play.
Gotcha.
So you get this card, you tap it, and it opens up the browser with this music.
Dope.
Now, what's unique is without this card, the browser won't open. And then when you close it and open back up, it's a new URL, so you can't share it.
Gotcha.
So it's content that's unique to the card.
Yeah.
So I'm only going to make 690 of these. So it's just like an album, a vinyl collection when you only make 500.
Right.
There'll only be 690. It'll have the album artwork, but within the card or on the platform, not only will you have a playlist with an album's worth of music, including Sit Next to Me.
Yeah.
I'm also going to give you video content that I've never shared and different digital, you know, I'm going to take you back because I have like the cassettes of when we first were touring Europe.
Right.
And when we didn't have all the music, so we would have to just do hip hop skits, you know, me and Shock, rhyming, and different things. So I'm going to share all of that in this card. So if you're a true Digital Underground fan and you love our history, or if you just love the new music that I'm making, it's a collectible that you'd want to have.
That's dope,
right?
man.
So even within this card, I can also, you know, push notifications, because if you have it, you know, you leave your information, I'll give you push notifications where you can get, you know, discounts on merch. Right. Or if you're holding the card, I may say, if you're at any show, whoever's holding the card, show it at the merch booth, 40% off.
Yeah.
Or if we do a party, I get on the mic.
Yeah.
Yo, first 10 people with the Tapioca card of this album, I buy your drink.
Right.
Come up. So it's IRL experiences that you get. It's exclusive content that you can only get by having this card, and it can't be shared outside of the card.
Awesome.
So you definitely want to tap in. It's called Analog Wishes, Digital Dreams is the name of the project, and it'll be exclusive on my Tapioca fan card. And that's dropping Black Friday, right?
MOG, man. Yeah,
You know, I'm out here.
You keeping up with the digital days,
Hey,
man.
man, you
That's
know,
what's up.
You got to do it.
That's what's up.
Got to do it.
Before I play the new single,
Okay.
want to give a shout out to Young Hump.
Shout out to Young Hump,
Yeah,
DJ
you know what I mean?
Always.
Quickly, how did Young Hump come into carrying the torch for Digital Underground, carrying the torch for Humpty and Shock G?
So Shock always wanted, you know, from the very beginning, the reason that, you know, because people always thought it was two people. Right. And the way that we were able to sort of hold that facade up is that collectively we, you know, Shock always had, his brother looks just like him. So he would be Humpty on stage. He had a homeboy, Randy, that was light skinned. So when Shock was Humpty, he'd stand in the back with the zebra hat to be Shock G.
Right.
So we always had another person.
Gotcha.
But he was always in search of somebody that could look the part, have the mannerisms, but could also rhyme.
Right.
And Young Hump
Fit that.
that. So, you know, and Shock knew Young Hump from when he was a kid.
Right.
And he hit me, was like, yo, I got a guy. So he was trying to get me to work with Young Hump. But this was at a time, I think me and Shock was having a disagreement. So I thought he was like trying to send somebody to spy on me or something.
Really?
So I was like, what you talking? I was like, what? He's like, nah, I got this dude. He's dope. You could take him on the road, because at the time Shock didn't really want to tour, right?
Yeah.
He's like, take him with you, and you could do it the way you want to do it. Because Shock was moving towards more instrumentation.
Okay, got you.
He was a musician, so he wanted to, jazz it up like a jazz band.
Right.
And I wanted to do it traditionally, like with a DJ, and do it like how we've been doing it.
That makes sense. That's smart of him.
So he was like, take this guy and go do it that way.
Tours, yeah.
But I rejected it for probably about a year and a half until I just, by chance, ran into him at a Tupac exhibit at the Grammy Museum in L.A.
Right.
And as soon as I saw him, I knew who it was.
Right.
And I was like, let me just go talk to this dude.
Yeah.
And then we connected, right? And then Shock was like, see, I told you. Because what I always tell people, Shock being a musician, he never got to play the Humpty Dance bass line live on stage because he always had to be Humpty.
Right.
And he really was most comfortable behind the keyboard. And that's what he wanted to do. So he's always in search of somebody that could relieve that duty for him. Because Humpty Hump is a character similar to Batman or 007.
Right.
It's just a character to be played. Right? So Young Hump is that dude that embodied everything that Shock was looking for. And, he's dope.
Definitely dope, and he does his job well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys recently, came to Port St. Lucie here in Florida, and I happened to be at the concert, and I see how you guys are in sync. You guys' chemistry, it looks exactly like you and Shock.
Word.
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give Young Hump, his flowers and tell him, he's doing a great job. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Young Hump.
You know what it
and
is.
DJ, always, because the DJ is important.
Right.
Shout out to all the DJs, DJ Fuse, DJ New Styles. We got a bunch of them.
That's what it is, man.
You know what I mean?
My man Money B in the building, Money. Thank you for hanging out with us right here on Rock the Bell Saturday Night Ride. My home, your home, you already know.
Absolutely. And so, everything that I'm telling you about, make sure you guys get more information. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MoneyB69. Pick up your official Digital Underground merchandise at dumerch.com. If you don't get it from dumerch.com, it's not official Digital Underground merchandise. If you're in California, get you some Shock G Forever Golden Ale.
Right.
Drink that beer.
There you go. There you go.
Poppin'.
And there you have it. So I'm going to just drop this new single right here. You want to go ahead and introduce it?
Word up. This is my new single featuring Guapdad 4000, produced by Excellence, featuring Excellence. Chicago, stand up. Oakland, stand up. This is Sit Next to Me. Let's get it.
Rock the Bell, Saturday Night Ride, DJ Epps, let's go.